It's your spiritual, it's not personal. Stand up and face the rain.
Hello. Coming to you from the lakes. Nice sunbathing weather if you're a northerner. Here's 15 reasons to go keto. I'm keeping it simple with today's video, so see my website article on this at keepitketo.co.uk for a detailed and analytical review of this topic. Let's get straight to it, dear viewer. And make sure to give this video a like and a subscribe, all that jazz.
Right now!
Should you enjoy what you see and hear. Thank you, chaps. On to the video. Reason number 1. Reduced inflammation and pain. A complimentary 2-for-1 offer.
You buy one, you get one free. I said you buy one, you get one free.
The ketogenic lifestyle drives a reduction in inflammation and weight through the regulation of pro-inflammatory and anti-inflammatory cytokines. It does this in 4 prominent ways: weight loss itself, beta-hydroxybutyrate production, insulin reduction, and glucagon increase. Now, obesity negatively affects insulin function, weight load on our joints, immune system function, and energy production. Higher adipose, i.e. fat, tissue levels are directly associated with inflammation, which is essentially an immune response. Now, keto, when considering the correct levels of omega-3 to omega-6 ratios, is an anti-inflammatory lifestyle by design. It is also the best way to reduce weight in a non-surgical fashion. The keto and beta-hydroxybutyrate uses NLRP3 inflammasome complex to reduce inflammation caused by monocytes, a type of immune cell. It then converts procytokine interleukin-1 beta into a less inflammatory form. It also suppresses production of pro-interleukins like interleukin-1, interleukin-6, interleukin-12, and even tumor necrosis factor alpha. As for insulin resistance, this is also associated with the suppression of anti-inflammatory cytokines and an increase in the above-mentioned pro-inflammatory cytokines and even another cytokine of fat tissue origin, leptin. Since keto can reduce insulin resistance and production and harness adipose tissue as an energy source, weight loss and reduced inflammation occur as a direct result of reduced leptin levels. Glucagon also affects inflammation and weight loss due to its opposite correlation with insulin. More insulin, less glucagon, and vice versa. Glucagon increases lipid oxidation, which results in the upregulation of ketone bodies, which results in, did you guess it? Ketogenesis. Ooh, and we're on to pain. Bit of pain never hurt anyone, eh? Increased neuronal excitability, aka sensitization, is common in chronic pain presentations. Ketone signaling can reduce nervous system excitability through the activation of various ion channels, such as ATP-sensitive potassium channels. It can also modulate the reduction of excitatory glutamate and/or the increase of inhibitory GABA, gamma-aminobutyric acid, which reduces pain signaling. Ketogenic diet can also improve mitochondrial respiration and reduce reactive oxygen species formation, which is linked with chronic pain and low-grade inflammation. Reasons number 2. Burn abdominal fat and stay conscious of sugar levels. This is the next dynamic duo. I mentioned previously of weight loss. The distribution of body fat is a very accurate way to measure one's health, with higher levels of visceral fat directly correlated with higher waist width. Visceral fat is associated with the abdominal cavity and its organs such as the intestines, liver and stomach. Heart attacks and increased inflammation is associated with high levels of visceral fats. Distribution of fat can sometimes explain why your skinny friend can be unhealthy and your fat friend can be healthy. These, however, are exceptions to the rule. Here I'm referring to table sugar, which is half composed of fructose, and beverages such as Coke and soda, which contain the highly toxic high fructose corn syrup. Disgusting. Fructose is hypothesized to promote inflammation, which in turn promotes cortisol production. And as cortisol increases, adipose tissue transports fat from this tissue to visceral fat storage. Reasons number 3. Spend less time cooking and more time enjoying a larger variety of foods than expected on keto. Keto, especially in its lazy and dirty incarnations, can be as relatively straightforward as cooking a single steak, eating a portion of cheese, and or a handful of nuts and berries. It's as easy as that. The preparation of foods doesn't have to always involve complex recipes and long preparation/cooking periods of such foods as rice, potatoes and pulses. Even if you are following a healthier keto protocol, recipes can be made simpler with less additions of unhealthy sauces, condiments and other additives that only complicate your menu. You could even make your own. Imagine that. Keep it keto, keep it simple when you're eating out, for example. Order a full English and leave out the hash browns, toast beans and swap for more eggs. A partial English. If all else fails though, then maybe start getting used to fasting. It isn't a bad thing, quite the opposite. It'll even instill some discipline and make you healthier in the process. And sure, figuring out recipes using keto ingredients such as almond flour and stevia's replacements can be a pain in the ass. But hopefully my keto recipe videos will clear that up in time and the confusion on that front. And let's think about it, keto isn't as limited in food variety as you might think. Forget simple stereotypes of just bacon and eggs for breakfast and avocados for dinner.
I'll give you another one, absolutely free.
Reason number 4, balance your hormones. Let's start with IGF-1 growth hormone. Now, balance is obviously crucial to life, and to keep it simple here, IGF-1, insulin like growth factor 1, is a hormone made by your liver. Growth hormone is produced in the pituitary gland in the brain, and then sent to the liver, where it triggers a process to make IGF-1. Now, both hormones work in similar ways. They both have anti-aging and fat-burning properties to help your body produce and maintain muscle mass, cartilage, collagen, muscle recovery, aid against bone loss, regulate blood levels and prevent hypoglycemia, and even protect cognitive health. My reason for going into this is that both hormones increase as you decrease insulin. It mobilises your body to use fat for fuel either when you're fasting or keeping insulin low. As soon as you eat, this switches. IGF-1 decreases and the insulin increases in response to the food that you eat. And if your insulin spikes high enough, you'll store fat rather than burn it. And it has the potential to be both good and bad, depending on how much your body produces. So basically, ketosis balances these hormones. The very presence of ketones is reflective of the absence or lack of insulin and glucose in the bloodstream. Next is thyroid and its hormones, particularly T3 and T4, which are the two main hormones that your thyroid gland secretes, influencing every cell in your body. T4 is, amongst other things, responsible for your metabolism, mood and body temperature, whilst T3 controls digestive and metabolic functions, and it also oversees bone health. When T3 and T4 levels are very low, more thyroid-stimulating hormone is released from the pituitary gland. If they're too high, the thyroid will release less thyroid-stimulating hormone.
How can I describe you?
An incorrect T3 to T4 circulating ratio can either promote hyperthyroidism or hypothyroidism. When nutritional ketosis occurs, a shift can occur in the T3 to T4 circulating ratio. And lowering T3 isn't a problem in ketosis, as less carbon dioxide and more energy is processed versus the same process with glucose. The thyroid doesn't have to work as hard. What is likely with the balancing of these two hormones is that the effects of hypothyroidism and hyperthyroidism will be less pronounced when on the keto diet. Now on to androgens, or what we call male hormones, the best of which is obviously testosterone. If you're a man on a hard carb diet, you can experience a decrease in testosterone. You're not in ketosis, and your fat storing hormones are high. When you go into ketosis, by lowering your carbohydrate intake, you have the ability to enhance your testosterone.
That is for
As
men.
insulin can decrease the amount of free testosterone produced in the male body. And as for estrogen, inadequate amounts has the effect of increasing the insulin sensitivity of your cells. The reverse is also true. When your estrogen levels drop, you can experience symptoms of insulin resistance. This could be why as a woman ages and loses estrogen, she's more likely to experience symptoms of insulin resistance along with blood sugar fluctuations. However, estrogen can be more complex than just this. Some women become estrogen dominant depending on how much weight they're carrying. After menopause, especially if a woman is overweight, she could be estrogen dominant because it's her fat that makes estrogen. In other words, if you're a menopausal woman who's overweight, you could be estrogen dominant. But if you're normal weight, you may find that your estrogen is low, leading to signs of insulin resistance such as fluctuating blood sugars or cravings for carbohydrates. Going keto will help improve your insulin resistance,
I would collapse.
improving your estrogen levels. Another difference with the female body is that when you develop insulin resistance as a woman, your body can actually start to create testosterone. This then leads to hair loss, growth of facial hair, a deepening of the voice, and a gut. These symptoms are naturally coalescing to what's called polycystic ovarian syndrome, PCOS. High insulin levels can actually cause the female body to produce androgens. What can you do if you have PCOS? Go on a ketogenic diet to heal it. There are plenty of studies on this. I will link them in the website article on this. Reasons. Number 5. Reduce blood sugar and reverse type 2 diabetes. You heard that right. Low carb and ketogenic diets can actually reverse type 2 diabetes. Not type 1, but type 2. When you cut carbs, it lowers both blood sugar and insulin levels drastically, as I previously mentioned. Some people with diabetes who begin the low carb diet may even need to reduce their insulin dosage by 50% almost immediately. Wow. Reasons. Number 6. Reduce cravings and bloating. A keto diet is very satiating due to its high fat content, and also in removing many trigger foods that drive increased cravings through the hunger hormone, ghrelin. Ketone bodies are seen to increase dietary restraint and decrease hunger. This is in part due to the action of ketones on the hormone leptin, the satiating hormone, and as well as the action on GLP-1 signals the brain that enough food is being eaten.
Whew. And that's it for this video. Bit yellow that bit. Check out keepitketo.co.uk for chocolates and eventually more products that I'm going to be releasing. And do the usual stuff like subscribe, keep in touch with the videos. I'm going to be releasing so many more videos of this beautiful landscape that I'm in and so much more. And until next time, ta-ta and farewell chaps.